How is it going? Thank you for tuning in this video. Today I'm here to discuss my time attending AEW Revolution 2023 at the Chase Center in San Francisco, California. In addition to that, I'll be talking about my time at Rampage prior to that at the Cal Palace. So without wasting more time, let's go ahead and jump right into things. Now, if you've not seen my previous video, which was me covering my first ever experience at an AEW event, which was for Dynamite last week, feel free to do so because there's a story that ties into my experience at Rampage. Now, before we get into Revolution, obviously we had Rampage, which was the Friday before the show, go-home show into Revolution for Rampage. Rampage isn't live all that often, so that's kind of why I wanted to go to this Rampage, just to kind of check it off the bucket list of attending AEW shows. But yeah, of course, went to Rampage and went to the merch line right away to get this Rampage shirt right there. Very similar to the Dynamite shirt, which just has a bunch of people on it. Obviously, there's a different collage of superstars on the Rampage shirt, which I appreciate. They didn't throw the same design and just the Rampage logo on it. So there's that. And then, of course, on the back, it just says, I was there, AEW Rampage. Nothing spectacular about the shirt, but considering, like I said, they don't do Rampage live that often, I figured I might as well get the event shirt because I don't know if and when I'll ever attend another live Rampage taping. So right after I got the shirt, went straight to my seat, and essentially the exact same situation that happened to me at Dynamite happened again here, which is why I was recommending watch that video if you have not prior to this one. Got to my seat, which was just a row ahead of the seats I had for Dynamite, literally the exact same seats. As I'm sitting there, we only sat there, my girlfriend and I sat there for about 5 minutes before one of the people that worked the Cal Palace, the exact same people that moved me on Wednesday for Dynamite, moved me once again. He sat there and said, "These are your seats?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Nope, come on." So I was like, great. I was kind of hoping to get moved again, and we did. Not that the seats were bad or anything, but it's always, if you're gonna get an upgrade, why would you turn that down, you know? So obviously he took the upgrade. He was actually going to place us the exact same area that I was placed on Wednesday, but when we went over there, it was actually already like filled with people. So I guess they were moving a bunch of people to that section, and they didn't want to put more people, so they kind of put us off to the side a little bit, or just the corner of it, which wasn't far. It was just a kind of corner view, which was absolutely perfect. No one was really over there. He pretty much even told us to sit where the hell you want. So I kind of went up a few rows to get an elevated view and whatnot. So great scene nonetheless. Had no complaints. Like I said, I'm not going to sit there and turn out a free seat upgrade by any means. But in terms of matches, I got there as soon as the final dark match was being taped, which was AR Fox taking on Ryan Nemeth. AR Fox was the victor, which I believe off of a 450. Not 100% certain on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what he did to get the win over Ryan Nemeth. But I was able to catch the last few minutes of that match as it was happening. But then after that, Tony Khan came out. I gotta say this, man. Anytime he comes out and cuts a promo, I will laugh because Tony Khan just yells into the mic for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I understand he just might be amped up, excited, you know, for everything, but it's just hilarious to see him yell into the mic for like absolutely no reason why everyone's just kind of chilling. So yeah, I cut a promo hyping up Rampage, and of course we went into Rampage with the 4-way tag team match, opening with Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta taking on Dark Order, Aussie Open and Top Flight. Right from the get-go, obviously Dark Order attacks the Blackpool Combat Club, and then it's a brawl ensures all around. Everyone's just brawling until the action gets back in the ring. Aussie Open and Top Flight had a pretty good showing. I think Aussie Open pretty much dominated majority of it and were in the ring majority of it, so they had a pretty good showcase. Top Flight was able to get some nice bumps in, especially Darius Martin. He was able to, you know, do some crazy high-flying stuff. And then eventually Blackpool Combat Club and Dark Order were able to go back in the ring. They were going at it, some back-and-forth action until Wheeler Yuta stole the pin and pinned Alex Reynolds, I believe, off of some roll-up or maybe some crucifix pin, excuse me. Not 100% certain, but Wheeler Yuta got the victory over Alex Reynolds, and then they just ensured brawling still until they went to the backstage area. So it was a good match. Nothing too spectacular about it, but it was a fun, entertaining match nonetheless. Following that, we had Rio taking on Emi Sakura, which was actually a pretty good match. You know, Rio was very, very over. Everyone absolutely adored her, and Emi Sakura noticed that and took absolute advantage of it and played a great heel role in this match. So yeah, I thought it was good. Emi Sakura, like I said, did a great job playing a heel role. Got great heat, just beating down Rio, just absolutely annihilating her and beating her down. And then Rio had some chances of opportunity, of hope. Got the comeback, ended up getting the win off a roll-up, I believe, and beat Emi Sakura. So yeah, good match, just nothing really significant about it. After that, we had Powerhouse Hobbs absolutely squashing Serpentico in like 30 seconds. Nothing to talk about, just to give him an easy victory to build momentum to his TNT title match on Dynamite. And then we go to the main event, which was Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes taking on the Mogul Affiliates. This was a solid match to close the show. I will just say this, Parker Bordeaux, or whatever his last name is, he is absolutely terrible. This dude sucks. He couldn't do anything right. Even the most simple things, like I think he gave Keith Lee like a big boot or something, and he didn't even pull that off. Like, it just looked very, very shitty. So I don't know. I can see why WWE got rid of him, and honestly, AEW should just keep him on Dark for the time being because he's absolutely not ready. But Swerve and Keith Lee had some good interactions and whatnot. Dustin Rhodes, you know, he was just there, not much to it. But Keith Lee got the victory for his team, or for him and Dustin Rhodes, after he hit Parker Bordeaux, or hit Parker Bordeaux with his finish and got the victory. So not much to it. And that was the Rampage taping. But of course, after the Rampage portion, we had Tony Khan come out and said we had 3 more matches yet they're taping for Dark. I'll quickly go over those ones. We had a trios match with Mark Briscoe and Lucha Brothers teaming up against Matt Hardy, Isaiah Cassidy, and Lee Moriarty. It was fine for what it was. Nothing special about it. Mark Briscoe got the victory for his team with the off the elbow from the top rope, and they ended up getting the pin on Isaiah Cassidy, I believe. We had Daniel Garcia taking on Aaron Solo, who I believe they only really had him in this match because he was from southern San Francisco, so I guess they want to give him a match for hometown boy, I guess. But I mean, this match went on for a good little while. It probably only went like 5 minutes or so, but I don't know, I just was not into it whatsoever, so it felt like it went forever. Daniel Garcia got the victory, so it was what it was. And afterwards, Sammy Guevara actually ended up cutting a promo, which again felt like forever because no one likes Sammy Guevara, and then presenting Daniel Garcia with the shirt of him hugging him, and that was that. So, and then following that, we had the main event, which was Hook taking on Peter Avalon. Avalon came out and said that his loss against Jericho was the biggest match of the night, and he wants to pretty much redeem that against anybody that comes out, and then Hook comes out and squashes him in about a minute. So yeah, that was the tapings after Rampage for Dark. Nothing significant. It was for the special edition Saturday Night Dark that happened this past Saturday. But all in all, for the Rampage taping itself, I thought it was a fun show. Was it a must-see show that I had to go to? No, but for the time I had there, because, you know, I got there probably about 15 minutes before 7, so before Rampage itself started. So the show itself that I saw was only about 2 hours long, not very long by any means, but I had a good time. It was fun, and it definitely, like I said, I was able to check that off the AEW bucket list. Oh, and if I mentioned Tony Khan screaming one more time after the tapings and everything, he thanked everyone for being there one more time, yelling in the mic, and was hoping to see everyone at Revolution. So yeah, I thought I'd just go ahead and mention that. Now, speaking of Revolution, let's go ahead and dive right into that show, which of course took place on the Sunday at the Chase Center in San Francisco. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Went straight to the arena. Well, I got some food before the show at Gott's because it was right around the corner from the arena. So got some food first, and then went straight to the arena. Very, very nice arena, by the way. I've never been to the Chase Center. I know it's fairly new still, and I was impressed by it. I thought it looked really nice, and I definitely had a good time. Would love to attend some future big events there if they have bigger shows at the Chase Center. So we got in fairly quickly and went straight to the merch line, of course, because, you know, if you don't know me by now, it's usually the first thing I do at shows. And I will say this, man, they were selling out of like almost everything they had to stands. I don't know if they brought very limited supplies or if everyone was just buying merch at the show or what, but essentially everything was flying off the shelves. Unfortunately, one of the shirts, actually it was 2 shirts I wanted initially when I got up there, and by the time I got up there, they were sold out of my size in both those shirts. Looking back, they did have the options of the shirts above, the size above and the size underneath, because I wore a medium, and they had a small and large as both the shirts I wanted, and honestly, I could have just bought the small and large and dealt with it, to be perfectly honest, but I just wasn't really thinking in the moment. I was kind of like, ah, whatever. They also had this poster, the MJF versus Bryan Danielson poster, which is essentially the shirt, but on a poster. But it was $100 because it was signed by both of them, and I've already met Danielson multiple times, so I have his signature, and so I didn't want to pay $100 for MJF's signature, so I didn't want to buy that. And not to mention, on Shop AEW, they've already put up the event poster, because they usually do that on Shop AEW after pay-per-views. They'll put like an event poster, like all the matches on it. So down the line, I might pick that up on the website. If it's on sale, maybe. So I might get that. But in terms of the merch that I got, I only got 1 shirt at the merch stand that time. I'll explain what I mean by that in a second. And the item I got, of course, was the Revolution I Was There shirt. As you guys can see on the front, it says I Was There, has the date, has the city and everything, just the Revolution logo. And then on the back here, we have the Revolution logo on top, and then of course says I Was There with the date, and of course the Chase Center in San Francisco on the back. So I had to settle on this one because the other shirt, the 2 shirts I wanted were originally the event shirt, which was the poster shirt with the I Was There on the back, and the Danielson versus MJF shirt, which was the match card shirt, which had I Was There on the back again. Want to get those 2 shirts, but like I said, they were sold out of my size, and like I said, I could have easily gotten a small or large, but I didn't do that. I know both those shirts are on Shop AEW, so I could easily get them there. However, it's just the front. It doesn't say that I was there on the back of it. So if I really want to get them that bad, I can just obviously order it off AEW's site and suffer from the I was there on the back. Not really needed, but you know, it makes it part of the event still, having I was there in the back. So I don't know, we'll see. However, I was able to redeem myself in some aspect, because later on in the show, during a match, which I'll discuss that match later on, or what match it was later on, I went to the bathroom, and while I did that, I said, you know what, let me go check the other merch stand, because where the merch stands were at, they were literally opposite ends of each other. So I was like, you know what, let me go check the other one, just in case if maybe they might have it. So I went to the bathroom, went to the merch line during a match, and I will say this, as soon as I passed the original merch stand I went to, I already saw that like half the stuff that was like up on the wall that they were showing was like taken down, because they're almost sold out of everything. So I was like, oh shit, my chances aren't looking very good. Went over to the merch stand, and I saw that one of the shirts I wanted was still displayed. And I saw the box I was in, and it only had a few shirts left. I'm like, oh, they probably don't, but let me just ask. So went up there and asked, I said, hey man, what sizes do you even have in that shirt anymore? And they told me they had a large and XL still. So I said, you know what, fuck it. I'll just get the large of the shirt, so that way I have it. And of course, that shirt being the MJF versus Bryan Danielson shirt right there. Very, very nice shirt if you ask me. And then same as the other shirt back, it just says Revolution with the logo, and then I was there with the date and everything. I can honestly wear a large. The only difference in a large and a medium really is just that it's more wide, and I don't like that it's more wide. I kind of like a slimmer shirt feel, so that's one reason why I don't wear larges. So in hindsight, I could have easily gotten the large of the event shirt still too, or a small. I don't mind a small shirt either. It's just some of it, just the sleeves are a little smaller than I like on a small shirt. So medium fits me perfectly. So yeah, I could have gotten a large or a small in either of the shirts, but I was happy to get the Danielson MJF shirt at least. You know, the event shirt, I kind of wish I would have gotten that one. So in hindsight, I could have easily gotten that shirt in the event shirt the first time I went around, just got a large or a small for it instead. But I'm happy to get the MJF and Danielson shirt, because honestly, you know, spoiler alert, that was the best match of the show, if you ask me. So I was more happy to get the match shirt than the event shirt, if anything. But yeah, I'm happy with both purchases. I'm not mad about it. I'm glad to have both those. And like I said, if I really wanted that event shirt, I can easily go on Shop AEW and just order it and deal with the fact that I doesn't have it back. So it is what it is. So that was the merch I got at Revolution. So right after that, went straight to my seats. And then I don't know what it is with seats, man. I think San Francisco hates me. Of course, we go right there and someone's sitting in our seats, and it's just like, why? Why do we have assigned seats if people just feel like, oh, well, no one's sitting there, I'll just sit there? I understand when the show starts and then seats are still empty, you figure, all right, no one's probably going to sit there. But before the show starts, why are you... I just don't understand it. Anyways, wasn't an issue. We kind of just stood there, and the guy just like looked at me like, are these your seats? I'm just like, yeah. And he's like, okay. And got up. I'm like, why the fuck were you even sitting in my seats? Whatever, it's not a big deal. But got to my seats about 15 minutes before the show started. I missed the 0 hour match, which was a trios match with Mark Briscoe and Lucha Bros taking on Varsity Athletes and Daivari. I didn't see that, but I didn't really care for it either, so I didn't really miss anything on that. And then we go to the main show, which, first off, I didn't even know the show was starting. Like, I knew it was starting, but I was expecting like a video package and whatnot. No, just immediate pyro to open the show, which I wasn't expecting. Yeah, that caught me off guard, that it immediately jumped into pyro with just absolutely no like hype video package whatsoever. But it's okay. It's not knocking it or anything. I was just caught off guard by that. Immediately jump into the action with Chris Jericho taking on Ricky Starks. Very good opening match here. Jericho was very dominant right from the get-go. Love the spot where Ricky Starks was going for the spear and Jericho was able to counter it into a code breaker. I thought both men worked very well against each other, and I thought it made for a really good opening match. Now, of course, towards the end of it, Sammy Guevara came making his way down in the ring, which it's just like when you specifically have the rule where like people are banned from ringside and they just come out. To me, shouldn't that be like an automatic disqualification? Or like, I don't know, like there needs to be like security enforcing like the area to make sure. I don't know what can be done. I'm just sick of matches having stipulation where people are banned and they still just come out with no repercussions whatsoever. To me, it's absolutely stupid. But before Guevara could really do anything, Action Andretti was able to attack him. They brawled for a good little while. And of course, as they're brawling, the referee's paying attention to that, which one thing that really bothers me about AEW, I don't know if it's Tony Khan or it's just the referees or what, they need to be retrained. I'm tired of referees like focusing on shit that doesn't matter, not doing their jobs properly. I'm not saying they need to be 100% and follow the rules of professional wrestling, but I guess to the point where it's like, can you like enforce something in this match? You're just standing around, let whatever happened. What's the point of rules if you're not going to enforce them? So that's one thing AEW or Tony Khan needs to get on with the referees. They really need to start showcasing on rules and like implementing it and not just letting everything happen, because it kind of kills it if you ask me. But yeah, they're brawling, and as referees paying attention to that, Jericho hits Ricky Starks with a bat to the ribs. Ricky Starks is selling it, and Jericho sets him up for the Judas effect, but as he goes for it, Ricky Starks blocks it. He straight up just grabs his arm when he does it, which I thought was a great counter. Ricky Starks gets upper hand on Jericho. It's a spear, ends up hitting his finisher on Jericho for the 1, 2, 3. Ricky Starks defeats Chris Jericho. Like I said, very good opening match. Ricky Starks was very, very over. Everyone absolutely loved Ricky Starks. Really good opening match from those two. Moving on from that, we had the final burial between Christian Cage and Jungle Boy Jack Perry, which is funny because at first this was advertised as a no-holds-barred match, and then it just randomly got switched into a final burial match. So I don't know. I thought it was weird, but nonetheless, I thought it was a good match. No complaints from me. I absolutely love the fact that Christian wrestled in a turtleneck. I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, right from the get-go, Christian was kind of avoiding Jack Perry. Went into the crowd. They brawled into the crowd for a good little while until back in the ringside area. They brawled around ring steps where Jungle Boy tried to crush Christian in the steps, but Christian was able to get out of the way, and Jungle Boy took like a back bump onto the steps, which looked pretty goddamn painful if you ask me. Just some good brawling all in all in this match. Wasn't a great match or anything, but in terms of with this feud, I thought it was a good way to end it. Obviously, Christian got the upper hand at the end, ended up hitting the kill switch onto the dirt because they actually had a casket like on dirt. Pretty much like a WWE Buried Alive match, essentially, but a casket instead of a hole. So they had that. Christian hit him with the, like I said, the kill switch on the dirt. Tried to throw Jungle Boy into the casket, threw him in there, but of course Christian took his sweet ass time, wanted to shut it, but Jungle Boy was able to fight out of it. They fought onto the ramp for a good little while until Jungle Boy got the upper hand, took Christian out, ended up, you know, putting him into a submission hold, took the shovel, was, you know, grinding the shovel into Christian's face so Christian passed out, and then Jungle Boy finally had the courage to hit him with the concerto, did it to Christian, threw him into the casket, and shut it, and that was the match. And I fucking laughed so hard to myself because when he shut the lid, the casket just went flying down. It was hilarious. I wasn't expecting that. So when that happened, just to see Christian just dump down, I thought it was hilarious. So yeah, Jack Perry gets the win over Christian finally after, you know, all these months they've, you know, been kind of teasing. Well, Christian was injured for a good little while of it, so I can understand why it was carried on so long. But after months, I thought it was a good ending to their feud and gave Jungle Boy a good win that he definitely needed. So yeah, it was a good match. I was entertained by it. Like I said, it wasn't great or anything, given, you know, they're kind of straight with the stipulation, but I thought it was enjoyable. And following that, we had the AEW World Trios Championships being defended. The Elite taking on House of Black. What a fantastic match this was. The crowd was heavily into it. I mean, everyone was chanting, "This is awesome," before the match even started, for Christ's sake. So everyone was immediately hot for this match, and it definitely delivered big time. There were so many near falls where I thought the match could have ended several times. I thought everyone worked their asses off and looked spectacular. You know, Brody King, who I've been very vocal about. I've never been a fan of his. I thought he had a good showcase, you know, with the sentons in the corner and just taking multiple people out. I love the spot of him choking out Nick Jackson on the ropes, and then Matt Jackson coming out of nowhere and super kicking him out of it. I thought that was a great spot. A lot of back and forth between both teams. A lot of great sequences. Just a lot of fun overall. I'm really glad this match is able to get a lot of time as well. It went a good little while, and it was just a ton of fun nonetheless. Like I said, a lot of great near falls. Kenny Omega and Malachi Black had a great exchange, I thought, where they both knocked each other out. I thought it was a great moment. And then when Kenny Omega accidentally gave Julia Hart the V-trigger on the apron, I thought it was great when he was kind of like, oh well, sorry, shouldn't have been there. Thought that was a great little touch on Omega's part. But as soon as he turned around, walked right into a huge roundhouse from Malachi Black for a great near fall right there. Just so much fun in this match. And then looked like Kenny was getting the upper hand or getting broken down. He got hit with Dante's Inferno. Looked like House of Black were going to win. Young Bucks made the save. Young Bucks were in the ring. They were going to go for the Melter driver on, I believe, Malachi Black. But when Nick went for the flip, oh my goodness. Buddy Matthews fucking eviscerated Nick with his knee. As he was going to hit the Melter driver, Buddy Matthews just slides in and just boom! Just chops him with his goddamn knee and absolutely kills Nick Jackson. He's dead. No longer, rest in peace. And then, of course, you know, Matt Jackson ends up getting absolutely destroyed by House of Black. Brody King hits Dante's Inferno, and then Malachi Black covers him for the 1, 2, 3, House of Black are your brand new World Trios champions. Was not expecting that whatsoever. Everyone went crazy for that finish because I don't think anyone was really expecting them to win. Should they have won? Absolutely, but I did not think the Elite would have this short of a reign as Trios champions, so that's why I did not think the Elite really had a chance of losing. But I'm happy. I'm happy House of Black won. Do something different with the Bucks and Omega. Put Omega back in the singles and put the Bucks back in the tag. They don't need to be in the trios. I mean, they can be, but let them lead their separate careers as well, in my opinion. But yeah, House of Black walk out the brand new AEW World Trios champions. Like I said, great match. Had a lot of fun with it. Definitely can't wait to watch that one back. Preceding that, we had the three-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Jamie Hayter defending against Saraya and Ruby Soho. Now, this was the match I was referring to earlier when I said I went to the bathroom and then called an audible to check the merch stand again, so I didn't see any of this, which was a short match anyway, so didn't really miss much. And honestly, this is the match I was least looking forward to on the show anyway, just because Tony Khan books his women's division so poorly that it's kind of hard to be excited for any of the women's stuff. So yeah, missed the whole match essentially, caught the final minute or so of it. Didn't really see anything, but Jamie Hayter to get the victory. I believe she rolled up Ruby Soho to get the win. So Jamie Hayter retains, and afterwards Tony Storm gets involved, attacks, you know, Jamie Hayter with Saraya, and then Britt Baker gets involved, and then, you know, it's a brawl, and Ruby Soho's like, oh, what do I do? And then she turns on Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker and joins in on Saraya and Tony Storm and beating them down. So yeah, Ruby Soho turns heel, which is the thing everyone's been seeing for weeks now. Don't really care for it. Don't really care for the group with Saraya, Tony Storm, and Ruby Soho. Saraya just has not contributed at all to AEW. I'm sorry. I know people were excited for her to come in, but she has not contributed to anything. If anything, actually, she's brought down the division, if you ask me. So even though her name's value, what she presents is not of any value, if you ask me. So yeah, missed the match. Don't have any thoughts on it. So Texas Death Match. Jon Moxley taking on Hangman Adam Page. Holy fuck, what a bloodbath this match was. Great entrance from both of them, I thought. You know, Hangman Adam Page had a new theme, but it was, I thought the presentation of it was great with the lights and everything. I thought it had a great entrance. Moxley comes from the crowd, never gets old. Always a good time seeing that. And these two just went out there and beat the holy shit out of each other. Moxley, of course, using a fork, which, oh my God, I kept cringing every time he did it, because I just, when I see stuff like that, I'm just envisioning like, what if that was happening to me? That would hurt a lot. So every time Moxley stuck a goddamn fork in Hangman's forehead, I was just cringing. And Hangman returned the favor too. Hangman was stabbing his fucking head as well. Barbed wire was involved. There's a barbed wire chair, barbed wire tables that they were going through. They absolutely adored their barbed wire in this match. Moxley at one point gets a chain and throws it in and chains themselves to each other so they can't escape. It's an all-out fucking brawl between both these fucking men. Moxley hit the stomp on a brick on Hangman Adam Page. He put his hands between bricks and stomped it onto him. Just absolute massacre with these two. And that's exactly what I wanted. And I got exactly what I wanted, which was just these two beating the shit out of each other. And it was a phenomenal match. Absolutely loved it. Like I said, great brutal brawl between both men. And I thought the finish was fantastic as well. There were a lot of times I thought Moxley was going to win, you know, hit the Death Rider, but, you know, Page was able to get up. Both men nearly got counted out at one point before they were both able to get up before the count of 10. Because you can only win this match by a knockout or submission. But back in the ring, both men are chained to each other. Hangman's got the upper hand. Hangman hits a huge buckshot lariat onto Moxley. Clotheslines Moxley over the rope. And because they're chained together, Hangman Page just takes that chain and just yanks Moxley over the rope with it. And he's hanging Moxley. Hangman is hanging Moxley over the ropes. And Moxley just immediately taps the fuck out. I thought that was a fantastic finish to an incredible brawl between both men. Moxley tapping out was a very big deal. I'm not sure how true this is, but someone claims that this was the first time Moxley's tapped out on TV since the match with Undertaker 10 years ago. Now, like I said, I could be 100% wrong on that because, I mean, I don't keep track of how many times he taps out, but it was very rare to see Moxley tap out. So that was putting over Hangman huge, if you ask me. Like I said, great brawl between both men, absolute bloodbath, and yeah, very huge win for Adam Page. And having to follow that was the TNT Championship match, Wardlow challenging Samoa Joe. And honestly, I will say this is by far the most disappointing match on the show. Just people weren't invested. I know we just had this barn burner of a match with Moxley and Page the match before, so I'm pretty sure everyone was kind of tired out from that. But I don't know. I was just disappointed by both men. I was kind of just expecting them to go out there and just do powerhouse moves and beat each other down, and they didn't really do that. It was kind of, I don't want to say sloppy, but just slow and just not very interesting. I was very surprised by the finish, too, with Wardlow putting in the rear naked choke on Samoa Joe, and Joe passes out to it. So Wardlow is your brand new TNT champion. We'll defend that title against Powerhouse Hobbs on Dynamite, which I'll be at that Dynamite live. So definitely expect a video covering that that show as well. But yeah, Wardlow wins new TNT champion. Like I said, it was just a disappointing match. No one really cared for it, and just like I said, it felt flat overall. Nothing felt exciting, and no one just honestly really cared for it. Even like when Wardlow won, no one expected that to happen. No one was expecting Samoa Joe to pass out. I think everyone's kind of like, all right, 1, 2. When the referee drops his hand down for the 3, he's gonna stop like that, and that didn't happen. So I think that just everyone's kind of like, oh, okay, that's it. You know, that was kind of the reaction I felt like everyone had, at least. So yeah, like I said, just a disappointing match nonetheless. And then we had the 4-way tag match for the AEW World Tag Team titles. We had the Guns defending against the Acclaimed, Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, as well as Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. Now, as random as shit as this match was on paper, I had a feeling it was going to at least be a fun match, and it was. I thought it was a fun, entertaining match. Everyone was able to get their stuff in. You had your comedy spots, of course, and whatnot, so I thought it was enjoyable. I will say, I absolutely lost it at the Orange Cassidy close on the corner, where he was just slowly walking, turning his arm, just walking as slow as he can, doing it while Danhausen was running the ropes, doing the corner clothesline back and forth, just waiting for Cassidy to hit it. I thought that was absolutely hilarious, so I did love that spot in the match. Another one I laughed at was when Sandam Singh got involved and Billy Gunn hit the Famouser on him. Oh my god, Billy Gunn landed straight on top of his fucking head. I thought that was hilarious. So all in all, even though it wasn't, you know, an amazing wrestling match, I thought this 4-way tag match was very fun. Like I said, everyone was able to showcase at one point in the match, so no complaints from me. A lot of great near falls towards the end of it, but at the end, the Guns end up getting the victory, hitting their finish on Danhausen to get the 1, 2, 3. So Guns retain. Everyone was kind of like, who gives a shit about the Guns? But as soon as Renee Paquette came out to interview the Guns, everybody knew it was going to happen. Everyone knew. So they get interviewed, and like a minute later, out come FTR, making their AEW returns for the first time in I don't know how long. It's been a while since we've seen FTR, but they're back. They come out, they brawl with the Guns, and Dax, man, he gets busted open. I don't know how, but his eye was just gushing blood from like the minute brawl they had with them. So obviously, I think that's what people thought they were going to go with. Initially, when the Guns won the titles, I'm pretty sure everyone thought, okay, it's going to be the Guns and FTR Revolution for the titles, because that's what makes most sense. But I guess they're going to postpone that. I don't know if FTR is just going to put them over, or if they're going to win the tag team titles back, because obviously there's a lot of things going on with FTR status in AEW. No one truly knows what the hell's going on there. But, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if FTR came back just to put them over, or you know, maybe they're here to stay. They're coming back, taking the titles, and be champions for a while. Who knows? But FTR is back. I think their match with the Guns will be entertaining whenever that will be. And yeah, I was just happy to see FTR back in AEW. And then we proceed to our main event, which was the 60-minute Ironman match for the AEW World Championship. MJF defending against the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. This was fucking incredible. Now, going into it, you're thinking, okay, I have to watch this hour-long match. I know it's probably not going to get exciting to the last few minutes, because that's what happens in almost every Ironman match. No. This match was entertaining throughout the entire way through, and I loved it. It didn't even feel like an hour being there. I remember watching the match and looking up at the clock like, oh my god, 15 minutes has passed by, 30 minutes has passed by, 50 minutes has passed by. Like, it flew by. So yeah, tremendous stuff from Bryan Danielson and MJF. MJF had a great entrance, I thought, by the way. Even though I don't like MJF, I thought his entrance was cool. Of course, right from the get-go, he was running away from Danielson, and I thought the gag, the running gag throughout the match with MJF, where he's constantly getting water and taking sips, I thought that was hilarious. As much as I dislike MJF, I will say he does his job phenomenally. He's a great heel, and I thought he did great stuff with Danielson. Right from the get-go, Danielson got the first fall after, actually, it took like 15-20 minutes in the match for the first fall to initially happen, I felt like, or maybe even longer than that, I don't know, but they went a good little while for the first fall finally happened, which was Danielson hitting the running knee on MJF for the first fall. And I don't know what happened. I was actually tweeting immediately after that fall. I guess MJF low blowed Danielson, because all I know is I heard the crowd react, and then I look up and I see MJF pin Danielson 1, 2, 3. I go, okay, now it's 1-1. But then immediately MJF pins him again, which fucking smart, very, very smart, because there is no breaks in this Ironman match like WWE does, where a pinfall and you take like a 30-second break in between. It's, you can pin them and immediately pin them again. That's so goddamn, I love that. I love when a heel is smart like that, where it's like, all right, I can keep pinning him in a row. Why would you not immediately pin him again? You just got the pin. Why not keep going for as many as you can and rack up as many falls as you can? So I just want to give more credit due to MJF for just being that fucking smart of a heel and doing that. So he gets 2 falls immediately, and then so I'm thinking, okay, it's 2-1 now. And then all of a sudden on the board, it changes to 2-2. I'm thinking, how the fuck did Danielson get 2 falls? Then I'm like, oh yeah, because of the low blow, that's a DQ. So, and of course, between falls, it's not like they were like saying like, oh, MJF gets a fall, Danielson gets a fall. It was just like, you know, you had to pay attention to know who was getting what fall. So I was very confused for like 10 minutes of how Danielson got a second fall over MJF. And then, like I said, eventually made sense when I kind of put together like, oh, I guess he got DQ'd and that's how he pinned him and pinned him again. So yeah, that was my little moment of not knowing what the hell is going on for a couple minutes. Because I was even like talking to my girlfriend, like, I'm like, how the hell did he get a second fall? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I was very, very confused for a while. But yeah, it was 2-2 for the longest time. Great stuff throughout the match. Going to the 3rd fall where MJF was just hitting pile drivers on Danielson like no tomorrow. Hit one from the, I believe, the 2nd rope. Hit one through a table to the outside, which, actually, no. He had an elbow drop on Danielson to the outside first, but he only broke, like, the first half of the table, like, a third of the table. So he picks Danielson up and does a running pile driver through the other half of the table that didn't break. I thought that was a great little touch right there. Back in the ring, it hits the Heat Seeker pile driver to get the 3rd fall on Danielson. So it is now 3-2 for MJF. They go a little bit longer while before Danielson ends up getting another fall, ends up putting him in the Regal stretch, I believe, before MJF tapped after that. So it is now 3-3 with like 10 minutes left in the match. So you, at that point, you kind of know, okay, it's probably going to go into a draw or something like that. Or the final fall is not going to happen until the last couple seconds of the match. So you have a few little scenarios how it's going to end. And it's coming down to the wire. Danielson's got MJF in the bell lock, and I'm thinking, oh shit, is he gonna tap like right at one, or is he just gonna wait till it goes out? So I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm sitting there hoping he taps out because I wanted Danielson to win. Obviously he didn't. The match went to a draw as soon as the time limit went to 60. MJF tapped out though, which I thought was smart. And yeah, the match went to a draw. They announced it was a draw. Everyone was pissed, chanting bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And then you see in the Tron, it goes, like, zooms in on Shivani at commentary. So you're like, okay, you know what's going to happen. Shivani comes walking down. He tells Justin Roberts that Tony Khan's bans this match to continue and sudden death rules. Everyone's losing their shit for it. But in the ring, which at first I thought that this was fucking hilarious, but then it makes sense. After the match, MJF's, like, dead in the ring. They had this motherfucker on an oxygen tank. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, why are you acting like he's dead? And then it makes sense because when they're clearing the ring out, MJF rolled to the outside. Danielson's got him. Actually, no, Danielson had him in the Regal stretch. And then MJF got to the ropes, but I don't think Danielson noticed because when he got to the ropes, he tapped out. So I think Danielson thought he won. So Danielson lets go. MJF rolls to the outside right next to the oxygen tank. Danielson tries to bring him back in. And then, of course, MJF wails him with the oxygen tank. Back in the ring, he puts him in his own little bell lock. Danielson's fighting out of it. He's trying to fight out of it. You know, crowd's cheering him on. Even Danielson's like, oh, trying to fight out of it. But then you see Danielson slowly fade, and he just taps out to MJF. And MJF defeats Bryan Danielson in a 65-minute Ironman match to retain the AEW World Championship. Absolutely incredible. Incredible match from start to finish. You know, I've already seen people saying it's the best Ironman match of all time. I'm not gonna sit there and say that for sure yet because I haven't watched it back. I only have my live experience there. I haven't seen the pay-per-view feed of it, so I can't judge. But I can definitely see where people are coming from because this match was entertaining from start to finish. There wasn't a dull moment in this match. The storytelling, the transitioning, the wrestling in this match was just all superb. And I thought Danielson and MJF definitely put a classic on for us. So yeah, MJF, Danielson. Fantastic match to close, which was an amazing fucking show. This show from start to finish was absolutely fantastic. Like I said, the only match I really didn't care for was the TNT title match. That was disappointing. And I didn't see the women's title match, so I can't really judge on it. But everything else I saw was great. I thought it was a really fun show. Obviously, the main event was match of the night. I would put the Texas Death behind that. The trios title match behind that, probably, then the Jericho Ricky Starks match behind that one. All those four right there were great matches in the show, if you ask me. And I just had a hell of a time, hell of an experience. And AEW brought it, man. There was a lot of blood on this show. Even my girlfriend, man, she was telling me how fun she was having at that show. I haven't really had her talk to me about wrestling like that. She was even asking me who's gonna be on Dynamite this Wednesday, so she knows who to look forward to. So AEW is doing something right when they're getting people don't really care about the product, you know, wondering what's gonna happen next because of the show they went to. So yeah, Revolution, fantastic show. Very, very much enjoyed it. Very happy to have been there live for it. And hell of a week it's been attending AEW. Went to all their 3 shows in San Francisco and going to Dynamite this Wednesday in Sacramento, where I live. So very, very exciting time. Was able to pretty much check out a lot of AEW stuff off of my bucket list this week. So yeah, hell of a pay-per-view, hell of a time. Cannot wait to watch it back again. I'm not going to watch it back again until the DVD comes out because I want to, obviously, I like to own the event I'm at, so I'm going to buy it regardless. So I might as well just wait until the DVD comes out to watch the event back. So that way I have some time too. Because I know AEW, they're very inconsistent with their DVD releases. It could be 2 months, it could be 9 months, it could be a year. I don't know. So hopefully by the summer, the show is out on DVD. I know I can easily just watch it online without any issues, but I want to have that, I want to watch the DVD. I want to watch on DVD. I want a reason to buy it and then pop it in, you know. So I look forward to rewatching the show again. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below. And of course, until next time, I'll see you guys and thank you guys for watching the video.